$5 for 6 tickets.
That's why I asked him.
And
Really, like,
they are
that's, I
located
think sometimes
at a table
my
out
fear
by
of
the
like,
concession stand.
it's just going to be,
So Lady Iron Girls
oh, that's a
Basketball
great play
fundraising.
without any.
Sure, right.
So,
yeah.
And he, like, you could definitely tell that he warmed up as they went.
Yeah. Was Lucas there
Lucas
as well?
was there too.
Okay, how'd Lucas do?
And I think Lucas started to get comfortable too.
Yeah,
And,
right.
Like,
takes a little while. Yeah.
But I think that there's times it's like, well, I don't want to talk over somebody, and
sure.
But
especially in basketball, it's
Pleasant good evening to you, everybody, and welcome to Normal Community High School. It's boys basketball here on the Inkspot. Joel Swanson, Zach Knox-Doyle, Ben Kerber here from Normal Community tonight as they welcome the rivals from across town, the Bloomington Purple Raiders. Well, the first home game for the Ironmen here in the 23-24 season. Last time we actually saw a game here on the Inkspot was all the way back at the inner city. The Ironmen knocked off Normal West to gain the inner city crown 57-54. They've reeled off a few victories since then, a couple victories since then to improve to a 6-0 record. And even more than that right now, Zach, #1 in the state in the AP. So there is a bullseye on the back of the Ironmen here the rest of the season.
Yeah, that AP poll just came out. And like you said, we were 1. The team we are playing tomorrow, Thornton, ended up being 3 in 3A and just barely. So they were nearly the #1 seed, just 3 points off of that. So that's going to be a great matchup in Springfield tomorrow.
Yeah, the expectations off the charts right now for this Normal Community basketball team. And Ben, right now, Bloomington kind of on the other end of things, 0-9 coming in, really struggling so far this season. And the Raiders just trying to get things turned around. They really haven't even had a close game even so far this year.
Yeah, if we're being honest, Bloomington's struggling a little bit, but that's all right. Their average score, they're getting outscored 39-72 in games, and they lost to Normal, like you said, 68-43. But in that game, we did see some three-point efforts from the Bloomington Raiders, and they've shot a combined 21 points from three-pointers range that's how many they scored in the first contest. And in the first contest, Clark also led the Bloomington Raiders in scoring with 12 points. And, you know, a team like Bloomington, they're 0-9, not doing great so far. But like you said, the Ironmen have a bullseye on their heads, I guess. And the Bloomington Raiders are going to come after them with everything they got. They really got nothing to lose in this situation. So I'd expect to see some shots being thrown up and a good effort from the Bloomington Raiders.
Yeah, especially on the road here this evening. Bloomington last time out lost to Springfield 68-31. And one of the things that's been really tough for the Raiders, they have had a hard time scoring, putting the ball in the basket. Lost to Washington 71-37, and a really good Peoria Richwoods team before that, 82-45. So the Raiders have really taken on the chin so far this season, haven't had a whole lot of close games. On the opposite end, Zach, boy, a target on the back for Normal Community, but coming off a victory over Peoria Manual, that was a really close game last Friday.
Yeah, so Community's now 6-0, and going through the last 2 games since the last time we've been here on the Inkspot, starting off with that Manual, which was the last game. Noah Cleveland led the Iron in score in that game. He had 19 points to go along with that, 8 boards, 3 steals, 2 blocks. The team only shot 46%, which is lower than their 52% average this season, and it was really all in the fourth quarter for the Ironmen, because coming into the fourth quarter, the Ironmen actually trailed by 4 to Manual. They outscored Manual 24-14 in that fourth to take a 6-point victory, 62-56. Braylon actually had 5 turnovers that game, and Community as a whole had 19 compared to Manual's 10. And only 4 3-point attempts for Community. They went to the line 39 times. So they really relied on the free throw line there. Then if we look at the Urbana game, Urbana's been struggling as a program. They were 3-26 last year. I'm not sure if they have a win yet this season. So Urbana was a pretty easy win for Community. It was a 31-point win. Weber had 18 points in just 14 minutes. The team shot 57%. They led 47-11 at half with their largest lead 43. And the big headline from that game, Nico Newsome scored his 1,000th career point.
Yeah, Nico, a lot of those points coming at Bloomington, the opponent Normal Community is going to face tonight. It's one of the things for Normal Community, so much talent that they can put on the floor, but still really trying to put all those pieces together. You got a lot of guys who have scored. Now all of a sudden you got to put them on the floor at the same time. So certainly this is still a team that's kind of working things out here early in the year.
Yeah, and if we're looking at the scoring and how they're kind of balancing it, it's really a balanced among the starters mostly. Jaheim Weber's leading the team with 14 points a game. Noah Cleveland right behind him with 13. And then Braylon Roman has 12. After that is Nico Newsome at 8, which is a drop-off from last season at Bloomington where he averaged 20 a game. One thing he's been struggling with is free throws. So he leads the team in free throw makes with 17, but also attempts with 31. So he's just shooting 55% from the line. Last year at Bloomington, it was around 70. So I'm sure that's something that he's going to be working on.
Yeah, he's found himself at the line quite a bit. This is a normal community team that's going to find themselves shooting a lot of free throws this year because they have so much size. They're going to pound that basketball inside. And you talk about percentage, field goal percentage has just been off the charts so far for the Ironmen. That and rebounding have been the two keys for normal community so far this year.
Yeah, with field goal percentage, they're shooting 52% from the field. And actually, if you're looking at two-point field goal percentage, 61%. They've shot 200 two-pointers in just 6 games, which is an average of about 33 two-pointers a game, and they've converted 121 of them. Looking at a bit of a struggle has been three-point shots. Not necessarily a struggle, but they're shooting 27% from 3, and they've made 20 of their 74 shots. And you mentioned rebounds. 36 rebounds a game, and the really surprising stat, 14 offensive boards a game.
Yeah, so the one question I think that has to be asked here coming into this game is how does Bloomington stay in it? They've really struggled so far this year. Obviously, normal community has that vast, superior size inside, probably also a quickness advantage on the perimeter as well. How do the Raiders try to find themselves still in a game once we get to the fourth quarter?
Well, looking in warm-ups, it looked like Bloomington was shooting a lot of threes. And like Ben said earlier, they had 21 points from 3 in the last meeting, and they only had 43 points in that game. So half of their points were from deep. And when I saw them in warm-ups, basically all I was seeing was three-point shots. They are down a player, so they only have 9 people on the roster. Tonight, I think they're going to be just really aggressive, shoot a lot, and I think they just got to hope that their shots are going to fall and that they're going to be able to shake up the Ironmen with how aggressive they're going to be.
I'll also be go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, but if you look at the last game also in Intercity, they had their looks for sure. The community defense looked like they were a little discombobulated at times with like the defense and spacing out. So I think Bloomington will certainly have their looks as the night goes on, and it'll be a test really for community to see if they can stay on top of things and have a clean performance.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much full court pressure we'll see from the Ironmen as well. If we'll see that earlier, we'll see that throughout the contest.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see a lot of aggressiveness from the Ironmen as well, because Bloomington's definitely going to be going at them for sure, and we saw that in that last game.
Yeah, we certainly did. A victory for normal community, pulling away at the end, 68-43 that game in the inner city. Let's turn things over now to Jason Drengwitz, our PA announcer. We'll have the starting lineups and the national anthem.
And with that privilege comes responsibility. Responsibility to conduct oneself in a manner that will allow others to enjoy the game. Sportsmanship is for everyone on the court and in the stands. At this time, will everyone please rise, face the flag, and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of the national anthem, sung by Normal Community sophomore Davis Esposito.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose
Starting at forward, number 0, a 6'3" junior, Brandon Cross. Starting at guard, number 4, a 6'2" senior, Trey Thompson. Starting at guard, number 5, a 6'1", 11 junior, Evan Reed. And then another guard, a 5'10", junior, number 10, Jack Collier. And a guard, a sophomore, 6'2", number 24, Brock Holtz. The Purple Raiders head coach is Spencer Johnson, their assistant coach is Greg Hill. And now for your normal community Ironmen. Starting at guard, a 6'6" senior, number 3, Nico Newsom. Starting at another guard, a 6'4" senior, number 11, Braylon Roman. Starting at forward, a 6'4" senior, number 22, Dexter Niekamp. Starting at another forward, a 6'8" senior, number 23, Noah Cleveland. And finally, starting at center, 6'10" senior, number 33, Jaheim Weber. The Ironmen are coached by Mr. David Witzig, assisted by Nathan Foster, John Hughes, Matt Schweinberg, and LaConte Nix.
Our PA announcer, Coach Jason Dringwitz. Well, we're getting ready for the Ironmen and the Raiders. Let's run through our starting lineups again. First for Bloomington, a 6'3" junior. Brandon Cross, he'll wear number 0. Trey Thompson, a 6'2" senior, is number 4. Evan Reed, a 6'1" junior, will wear number 5. Zach Collier, the 5'10" junior, will wear number 10. And Brock Holtz, the 6'2" sophomore, will wear number 24. For the Ironmen, Nico Newsom, a 6'6" senior. Braylon Roman, the 6'4" senior. Dexter Niekamp, 6'4" senior, number 22. Noah Cleveland, 6'8", and Jaheim Weber, the big guy inside, 6'10". And here we go. Normal Community controls the tip. Right away, we see Bloomington coming out in the 1-2-2 zone. Jaheim down the lane, inside, lost the basketball. He's fouled on the play. Going up that time, looked like Trey Thompson was going to pick that one up, and that's exactly who got it. So Jaheim finds himself at the line right here. On the season so far, Jaheim 50% from the free throw line, 9 out of 18 on the young season here. But Zach, Jaheim's going to find himself at the free throw line a lot this season.
Yeah, we're just 13 seconds in. He's already at the free throw line. And in that last game, Community went to the free throw line 39 times. And actually the one that was there the most, Noah Cleveland, went to the line 15 times last game.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it actually seems like this was the exact same play that started the game last year. Though, I mean, the last game that Bloomington and Norwell played, they just jumped to Jaheim, and he did his work in the paint.
The ball knocked around, and the Raiders have it coming back the other way. We'll start the offense now with Evan Reed out front. Jaheim split the pair right there, so 1-0 in favor of the Ironmen. And we'll see how much time the Raiders are going to try to take off the clock, trying to stick around in this contest. It's been hard for them so far to stay in games. Now in the lane, they lose the basketball there, picked out of there by Cleveland.
Well, Bloomington's actually missing 2 starters, at least from the last game. Robbie Clark, their leading scorer, is nowhere to be found. He's not playing, and he's not on the bench either. And you could tell in that last possession they were really missing him.
Inside, Jaheim Weber missed a layup, knocked out of bounds there by Bloomington. So the Ironmen will have the basketball baseline out of bounds. 7:05 to go first quarter, 1-0 Normal Community.
We've seen a little struggle. Oh, not anymore as he dunks it down. I was going to say a little struggle finishing shots. Not if you're dunking it, though.
Yeah, Noah Cleveland got all the way to the rim. And talk about the dunks from the inner city game the Ironmen had. Might be the same thing tonight.
Yeah, they had 11 dunks in that game, and they had 8 of those were in transition.
Braylon Roman on the other end lays one in. 5-0 now in favor of the Ironmen. Bloomington loses it again. Weber able to pick up the steal. Little full court pressure from Normal Community.
Seems like these last 2 plays that the whole Bloomington roster has really been in the paint, and it just really hasn't mattered.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it was in the first game as well. Community is really just able to get whatever they wanted in the paint. And Bloomington's just so much smaller with their tallest player at 6'3", and Normal Community has 7 players over 6'4".
Jeremiah Plant is in the game now for Bloomington. A missed 3 that time by Braylon Roman. 5-0 Ironmen, 6:20 to go here. First quarter, the Raiders still looking for their first basket. Put 43 on the board against Normal Community in the inner city game. That was a game the Ironmen had a huge lead starting off. Here's a free ball from the corner that goes down. Robert Clark able to knock that one down. Excuse me, that's Brandon Cross. Brandon Cross knocking down the three, and had a timeout here, as I think the Raiders took an early timeout, and see if Bloomington can build a little bit of confidence here early in the contest.
Yeah, it's a nice shot to see go down, and you did say Robert Clark, and he's not playing, so I'm wondering if Brandon Cross is going to have more of an opportunity to get more shots off. That was a really clean shot. I know I saw him in warm-ups. He was making a lot of swishes. He's got a nice, clean shot, and that's something that Robbie did really well at. He's a great shooter, and he was also able to be pretty shifty, so I think Cross is going to be looking to fill his shoes. I'm not sure where Clark is tonight, but he's not on Bloomington's bench.
Yeah, and you talked about the switch. It looked like Bloomington utilized the switch to get the open three there, and that's something that we talked about early in the game. I mean, early in the preview of the game, that they'll have their open looks, and hopefully they'll be able to capitalize. Well, not hopefully, because hopefully Normal wins, but.
I can see the Raiders packing it inside, but boy, Jaheim Weber missed the shot right at the rim, rebound, and he is fouled, and might be about the easiest shot Jaheim's going to get all year. But that was just on the baseline. I'm not sure who was supposed to cover the bottom that time for Bloomington, but there was nobody there, and Jaheim Weber finds himself at the line.
To me, it looked like Jaheim might have gotten elbowed underneath. It seemed like somebody kind of pushed him from lower towards his legs, but so far tonight, Jaheim's been really aggressive, but it seems like he's not really taking his time to make those shots in the paint. And he shot 80% from the field this year, which leads Community, and tonight he's 0 for 2 so far.
Yeah, first quarter, home opener. It looks like he's just got to get his feet under him a little bit, get a little loose, and hopefully he'll be able to have a good showing out tonight in the home opener.
Yeah, missed both free throws right there, so Jaheim just 1 for 4 from the free throw line. We'll see if Bloomington tries to spread Normal Community out. Obviously, the Ironmen with a huge size advantage, but see if the Raiders can take advantage of having maybe 4 or 5 guards on the floor. Try to spread out this big Raider lineup. That's Holtz for 3, no good. Rebound pulled out of there by Weber. Here's Braylon Roman on the other end, and he'll lay it home. And Braylon's got his second bucket of the contest. 4 points now for Braylon Roman, 7-3 Ironmen.
I was expecting a dunk there, actually, especially because of the last game against Bloomington. Braylon had 4 dunks off of his own 4 steals. It was incredibly impressive. And there's a tip there.
We might see a dunk here.
That's exactly what we get as Noah Cleveland flushes one down.
Cleveland's
second bucket.
second dunk. And second bucket, second dunk.
Now he's got 4 in the contest. We see a bit of full court pressure here now by the Ironmen. See if we'll get some trapping in the back court, the front court, and we do. That one tipped away as Nico Newsom couldn't quite come up with it. Here come the Raiders back the other way. Down low and a foul on Dexter Niekamp as Jeremiah Palant took the ball all the way to the basket right there. He'll end up at the free throw line, shooting 2.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing the opposite of what Community saw in the last game against Manual. Jaheim only took 7 shots that whole game, made 6 of them. He was really efficient. And then Cleveland was the one going to the line. I think he ended up going 11 for 15 from the line, and he's only taken 26 free throws on the season. Well, it's not really an only, but when you compare it to 15 in one game, it's kind of insane.
Free throw goes down right there, giving the Raiders their 4th point of the contest. 9-4 Ironmen. 4:47 to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and you know, when you're facing a team like Bloomington that they kind of blew out last time, you have to make sure that your starters get what they need out of the game, because you really don't know how long you'll be in there. And especially Community is playing a really tough team in Thornton tomorrow. You want to make sure they're sharp for that game, so you want to make sure they get their work in here and also get rested for the next contest if it gets there.
Newsom's 3, no good.
Gosh.
Dexter Niekamp
Just
all
lost
over
him.
the boards right there. And able to lay it home. Dexter Niekamp's got his first bucket.
What an offensive board there from Niekamp. We know he was in the football season and just an excellent football player, as we talked about, but it seems like he's finally starting to get his legs under him. He was a starter last year as well, just as a junior. Started at the 4 for Community, as he is this year as well. And I mean, now that I'm seeing he's really starting to get rocking and rolling. He wasn't starting at the first 4 games, I'm pretty sure. And now seeing him start, he looks good.
Yeah, Dexter was coming off that football season, and we saw him the first time. He really had finished the football season Saturday, playing on Monday, so quick turnaround, hadn't even practiced yet, just trying to get him and Mac Brennan back in the basketball shape as well. Obviously 2 very different sports, but as you mentioned, good to see Dexter on the floor right now and getting started the basketball season. Here's a long 3 that is down that time, and
Well, that's what we've expected from Bloomington today. Lots of threes, and right now they're going down.
That was number 21 right there. I don't have him on the roster here for Bloomington, so we'll try to get a name and a number here as the game goes along.
He's the mystery man.
The mystery man knocks one home. He just picked up a foul as well.
Yeah, the mystery man, I guess we'll call him that for now, was not in that first game against Community, and I think maybe he's coming in for Robbie Clark. It's quite possible.
I was hoping that Jason Drengwitz would help us out on the PA there, but I'm not even sure he knew who that player was down there as Braylon Roman knocks in the free throw right there. 5 now for Braylon here in the contest.
Yeah, one thing Braylon's been pretty dang good at is just being very efficient. He's shooting 55% from field goal, 44 from 3, which leads the team, and also 71% from free throw line, which is pretty good in high school basketball.
13-8 now. The Ironmen have the lead. Reed now over to Holtz, trying to break this man-to-man full court pressure here by Normal Community. Kind of see their wait until they get in the front court before they trap all the way down. Another bucket right there. Number 21's got his second bucket.
Mystery man's a bucket, bro.
Yeah, he certainly is, and I do believe it was Fisher that time that was able to put that one in. 5 points for him now here so far in the contest. He's actually their leading scorer for Bloomington. 13-10 our score.
Yeah, he's really quick. He's really explosive, and he does a little more than we expected from Bloomington, which was a lot of threes. But he didn't really have a defender there, but it looked like Noah Cleveland was really thinking about blocking it, and he ended up just letting the layup go, which makes me think he has a lot of speed. Seems like a really good player from what we've seen in these few minutes of him.
He also looks like Bloomington's maybe one of their taller players on the team.
Yeah, it seems maybe 6'3", 6'2", right around there, probably 6'3".
I got to think if Bloomington can deal with the pressure here against Normal Community, might be able to make things interesting against the Ironmen tonight. They trailed 13-10. They continue to be in this 1-2-2 zone here against Normal Community. The Ironmen should see a lot of zone this year with all that size that they got. They go to Noah Cleveland at the high post. Really nice job by the Raiders, able to collapse down inside, making the Ironmen move the ball around as down the lane goes Nico Newsom, threw it right off the right hand of Noah Cleveland out of bounds and be turned back over to Bloomington.
That was a great move by Nico there, and I was expecting a layup actually. It looked like he could have, especially since he's a lot taller than a lot of these individuals here, but he went for the pass maybe just a little too fast.
A lot now to Holtz. He'll turn it over. Braylon Roman on the steal, and there's flush number 1 for Roman.
That was a smooth dunk right there. It looked like a swish, actually, the way it went through the net. It was really cool.
Yeah, threw that one down with some authority. 15-10 now. The Ironmen have the lead as Braylon Roman kicks the basketball back into the backcourt. And for the first time tonight, we'll see Marcus Russell coming off the bench. 6'1" junior comes in the lineup.
You know, Braylon Roman might be in the wrong sport after that kick there. That was quite a kick. Maybe you should be playing soccer.
Certainly showing that athletic ability. Normal Community in that man-to-man defense here. 2:19 to go first quarter, 15-10. The Ironmen out in front of the Raiders. Bloomington looking for their first victory of the year. Normal Community comes in 6-0. Kobe Walker now on the floor. Another steal by Braylon Roman. Here comes Braylon down the lane. A little shake and bake. He'll finish with the right hand. He's got double digits already here in the first quarter.
You know, we talked about Braylon offensively already tonight and the way he's able to knock down free throws. You know, I feel like he's probably their most composed offensive player. But you can see there that he's really good has a natural feel for the ball, is really good at getting steals, and that's really going to pay off for the Ironmen in the long run, especially with so many bigs in their lineup.
Noah Cleveland able to run down that rebound. Marcus Russell sprints the other way. Kobe Walker had to catch it inside. Kobe couldn't quite finish it. Now he'll go up for the second one. Couldn't put that one down either. But Kobe will find himself at the line. Walker on the season 4 out of 6 from the free throw line, trying to knock down a couple right here, but so that's what they tell the big guy to do. Catch it high, keep it high. Kobe did a nice job right there. Let's see if he can cash in at the free throw line.
Yeah, and Kobe's stats have actually been pretty impressive this year considering he's only averaging 9 minutes a game. He's behind Jaheim Weber, the Wright State commit, but in just 9 minutes, he's averaging 6 points and 5 boards, and the boards are for second best on the team. Just averaging 9 minutes, that's pretty insane.
Kobe's going to be a valuable piece for the Ironmen all season long. Got to think at some point they're going to have some foul trouble in that front court, and boy, he is going to play some big minutes in those types of contests. His moments are coming. He gets a block right there as Evan Reed tried to go down the lane, and Kobe got a hand on that one out of bounds.
He was all over that one. Looked like he telegraphed it from the very beginning.
Yeah, and something I've noticed about Kobe defensively, it looks like he has like pretty strong footwork in the paint. He's obviously very long, and I feel like he just does a good job not fouling, but using his length to his advantage like he did right
Another
there.
block there. Marcus on
Marcus
the
Russell.
fast break.
Goodness. Marcus Russell got hit from behind that time. He will head to the line. Trey Burdett is in the lineup, the 5'11 sophomore. Saw him some in the JV game tonight. Now getting some run here in the varsity as he's seen action in all the contests for the Ironmen so far this year.
Trey's actually seen the 6th most minutes for the Ironmen, well, tied for the 6th most minutes for the Ironmen this year, and he's kind of been the 6th man a lot of times. He'll be like 6th, 7th player to come out. So, and then sometimes he's so good, like we were talking about earlier, we forget that he's a sophomore just by how experienced he looks and how composed he is on the court. And like you said tonight, he played the first half in that JV game. You could definitely tell he was a varsity player.
First free throw goes down for Marcus Russell. Russell's second goes off the back rim. Burdett's got the rebound into Kobe Walker, and Kobe puts it home. He's got 4 points now. Now it's 22-10.
Yeah, Kobe is on top of it so far. It was a great find as well. Kobe's got 2 blocks in probably about 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's played well coming off the bench here. As the Ironmen continue to try to run and jump in that front court. Broken Palat down the lane. Tried to dish it off inside. He was looking that time for Trey Thompson. Ball knocked out of bounds off the Raiders. It will belong to the Ironmen. Normal Community leading 22-10, 56.8 to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, in that first game against Bloomington, Community got off to, I think I want to say, a 14-0 start, and then Bloomington started to slowly get back in. In this game, it was 13-10 just a couple minutes ago, and now Community's really starting to get going, and they're showing off their depth right now.
Owen Osborne, 3 from the corner. That doesn't go. Rebound knocked around. It's Kobe again. They missed that one. Got it back and lays it home. Kobe Walker's got 6 here in the first quarter.
He also has 2 offensive boards.
Yeah, Kobe at 6'9", just a junior. He'll be back for another year as Marcus Russell with good hustle that time. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Raiders.
Marcus Russell with good hustle. I like that one.
Marcus did a nice job getting after the basketball. 18.9 here now, first quarter. Ironmen up by 14.
Yeah, and you know, you talked about the depth being shown. There's 3 juniors on the court right now, 1 sophomore and 1 senior, and the dominance looks pretty much the same as if it was all seasoned vets on the court. So I think that depth and that young core will really play a big key and role in this season.
Yeah, certainly a really strong senior class here for Normal Community. As you mentioned, Ben, seeing some of the juniors and the sophomore out there in Burdett. Here's Osborne in the corner now, 9 on the clock. Russell now back to Burdett. He'll be back out front now, back to Marcus Russell, now with 2. Trey's going to have to take the shot, launches it, went up, and he's going to call for a travel that time, but that's the end of the first quarter. 1 quarter down for Normal Community High School tonight. It's the Ironmen 24 and the Raiders 10. You're watching high school basketball on the Inkspot. Well, thanks for joining us here on the Inkspot, the 23-24 season. If you'd like to make a donation, Inkspot to the Normal Community Inkspot, see the Inkspot website. Certainly a place that you can donate if you like watching the games here on the Inkspot. Football, basketball, both on the boys and girls side. Certainly would appreciate a donation to the Inkspot. Well, first of all, let's start with you, Ben. Your thoughts on the first quarter here with the Ironmen out in front by 14.
Yeah, well, I think we're seeing a lot of the same things we saw in the first contest. You know, Community's basically just being a force in the paint. They're not letting Bloomington get anything going. It's basically like they're not even there on defense in the paint. And then on the other side of the ball, they're poking the ball. Community's poking the ball out, you know, getting a lot of steals. And if that continues for the rest of the game, I think we'll see a lot of the, you know, the other players in the second half, and we'll be able to see a nice conclusion to this home opener here.
Zach, your thoughts on quarter number 1?
Yeah, Braylon Roman led the Ironmen in quarter number 1 with 10. Kobe Walker was right behind him with 6 coming off the bench, having 6 points. And just like Ben said, especially with Kobe Walker and Jaheim, it really didn't seem like Bloomington had much presence in the paint, and the Ironmen were really just using their height and their strength and just their overall size to just make bucket after bucket. 24 points in a quarter is impressive.
Now the Raiders have it here to start quarter number 2. Once again, we see that trap loose ball. Dexter Niecamp's got it. Dexter coast to coast. He'll put it home with the right hand right there. Dexter Niecamp has the first bucket of the second quarter, 4 in the game.
Another thing that's very impressive from the Ironmen is with their size, they're still incredibly speedy. Like Braylon Roman's 6'4" and a guard, and we've seen him just take off on fast break after fast break in this game. And Dexter Niekamp right there, who plays the 4, he's a power forward, and he just went coast to coast and was faster than their guard.
Yeah, and as a team, as a whole, defensively, you know, looking on from inner city to now, it looks like they're a lot more on the same page as a defense. They're really more on time with their traps. That's led to a lot of easy transition points and steals and tips. And I think if they continue to do that, then they'll be really hard to beat as a team.
Yeah, Trey Burdick got his steal right there. Go ahead, Zach.
Community looks just a lot more composed on offense. And I was about to say they're not really forcing anything. They did kind of force a pass there, but they seem a lot more composed, and we saw a little bit in that first quarter. They were just kind of passing it back and forth, waiting to get their shot.
Well, the Ironmen have the basketball after Bloomington turned it over on the last possession. Noah Cleveland now will start the offense. 7 minutes to go before halftime, 26-10. The Ironmen have the lead over the Raiders. Normal Community comes in ranked number 1, Class 4A in the first AP poll of the season. Hoping to finish that same way in Champaign come the second week of March. Noah Cleveland now with the basketball over to Braylon Roman. As you can see, the Raiders packing in that defense. Jaheim Weber now catches the ball in the short corner, looks back out front, and the Ironmen will swing it around. Nice defense that time by Bloomington as the Raiders do a nice job packing in that zone, making it hard on the Ironmen.
Yeah, that was about 30 seconds of just straight passes. Good patience by the Ironmen and just keep on passing, not really forcing up a shot. But that's kind of the first time that we've seen Bloomington pose as a threat in the paint.
A 13-0 run right now by Normal Communities. Dexter Niekamp misses everything, and we're going to get a tie-up. That ball will belong to Bloomington. Niekamp missing the 18-footer right there. Game was 13-10 over halfway through the first quarter. The Ironmen have run off that last 13 points of the contest here to take control of the game. You see the full court pressure here now by Normal Community. We've seen it all night.
Yeah, and you got Dexter running that full court pressure and just showing off, like I said earlier, the speed with his size. And here comes Noah Cleveland on the fast break.
Yeah, Noah Cleveland throws one down right there, and Noah's got 3 buckets, and all of them have been dunks here so far. But again, another guy at 6'9", showing off tremendous speed, getting up in that passing lane.
Yeah, that was great on the fast break. And in the first game, he also had 3 dunks against Bloomington, and he really just showed off his speed. I think all of them were in transition as well. I
think Bloomington just called a timeout, and they did. Might have been their best chance to score here. They haven't scored since about halfway through the first quarter. It was 13-10, a 15-0 run here by Normal Community. Ben, what have you seen from the Ironmen here on this 15-0 run?
Well, I see that they're being pretty patient with their passes and trying to just get the open look. You know, I was talking to Witzik earlier this week. He said that they have a very explosive offense, which is something that they can't really have been said for community teams in the past. And they've just been really trying to see what they can do, what they can utilize. It looks like they're really feeling out the court so far this game. And then defensively, they've been able to get a lot of transition points from dunks and tips and steals and all that kind of stuff.
Well, the Ironmen have certainly been on a roll, and Normal Community pretty much as a program has been known for really solid man-to-man defense, really good half-court offense, but certainly maybe that full-court pressure transition basketball, we might see more of that from this team than what we've seen from previous Ironman teams.
Yeah, and it's really just great defense from Community this season. They've only given up about 45 points a game, which is incredibly impressive. And then on the flip side for Bloomington, they have only scored about 39 a game, and their highest scoring game was 45, with their lowest 31, which was actually just their last game against Springfield.
Here's a 3 from the corner, doesn't go down right there for Trey Thompson. The Ironmen run down the rebound. Terrion Darnell is now in the game now for Normal Community. He wears number 4 from the Ironmen as they set up against this zone again. Cleveland now back up top for Roman. He leads them in scoring, and the only guy in double digits here so far on either side.
You know, we had a big debate pregame about whether Terrion's shoes are orange or red. Oh my God, that was a bucket.
Braylon Roman on the baseline right there. Little English off the glass, able to spin that one home, 30-10.
What an insane play from Braylon there. He's just showing off his sheer athleticism tonight.
Yeah, I was talking about Terrion's shoes, and then, you know, Braylon just goes and does that.
So where did you land, Ben, on Terrion's shoes? Exactly what color is that?
You know, I would say they're red-orange.
Red-orange?
Yeah, because like the court is like very orange. It's like orangey orange, but then Terrion's shoes are a bit of a red-orange. They're not red. But like, yeah, I don't know.
I'm
So
gonna go with
the
orange.
choices were red or orange, and you went with red orange. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I guess it kind
You
of
should be
sounds
a
dumb.
politician, Ben. I think, way to go, jump right in the middle there. Red, orange. We got a foul here, and I do believe Bloomington's headline. Nope, it's going to be baseline out of bounds right here for the Raiders.
I'm saying that they could pass as an orange shoe if you really looked at it in that perspective.
We'll try to get a close-up maybe of those shoes here as the night goes along. With a 20-point game right now here in the first half. The Raiders trailing. Here's Fisher down the lane, puts it up and blocked by Jaheim Weber as Jaheim got a mitt on that one right there out of bounds.
Yeah, that reminded me of a Jaheim block in Inner City. I think he blocked it about 4 rows up. Obviously, we don't have any rows back there, but just a tremendous block showing off his sheer strength. I wouldn't be surprised if they go to him here. Oh, they tried.
There's one fired inside right there. Got a fastball that Jaheim couldn't quite handle. Almost took out the camera guy there on the baseline. Zach, you ever been blocked by Jaheim? Taking a shot that's gone back at you by Jaheim?
I have not.
Not
and
an
I'm
open
happy
gym or
that I
anything?
haven't.
No? Okay. All right, thought maybe there'd be an open gym experience there.
When I saw him come up, I passed it away really quickly.
You're a
Yeah.
smart young man, Zach.
Yeah, me personally, I would go right at him, but
Good luck with that.
all right.
Bloomington's got the ball here. 4.5 to go second quarter. The Raiders down by 20. It's really been all Ironmen here on a 17-0 run, and now another turnover here by Bloomington. Down the lane, Noah Cleveland's all the way in, and Noah's going to lay it home. Noah's got 8 points here, hasn't taken anything outside of a foot here so far, and he'll try to go to the line here to try to make it .9 for Noah Cleveland on the night. 32-10 now our score in favor of the Ironmen.
That was his first non-dunk bucket of the night, and I think it would have been a dunk if he didn't get fouled there. They were kind of pulling on his arms.
Trying to give Normal Community now a 22-point lead here, extending this run of the Ironmen for 20, and it is right there for Noah Cleveland. So Braylon Roman's got 12. Noah has 9. Kobe Walker has come off the bench to score 6. Those are the leading scorers so far. Fisher on the other end. Here's a kick out, trying to break that run. It doesn't go down for the Raiders. Fisher inside against Kobe Walker, kicks it back out. Evan Reed's got a 15-footer. That clinks off the backside. Inside, the Raiders still can't score at the rim. Noah Cleveland's got the rebound, but really the best possession the Raiders have had in quite a while. Braylon Roman down the lane. He's got 14 now, and the run now extends to 22-0.
Wow, this run is insane. And in that first game, we didn't even see a run this crazy for the Ironmen. We got Mac Brennan is about to check in, as well as Owen Osborne. In the last game against Manual, we only saw 9 Iron players hit the floor.
That one's going to go off Bloomington out of bounds. Yeah, that game against Manual, boy, the Rams really pushed the Ironmen to the end. Had a lead in the fourth quarter. Normal Community had to rally. The Ironmen were able to get some stops down the stretch, knock down some free throws, get a bit of a lead, but it was certainly a pulse pounder there in Peoria. The Rams are number 3, but in Class 2A. That's going to be really interesting watching Manual play in 2A this year, especially after all the good competition they're going to play throughout the season.
Yeah, and if they were able to hold Community to a 6-point win, I think they will be just fine in 2A. And I wouldn't be surprised if that loss actually helped them in that AP poll.
Yeah, and Taylor Ridge Rockridge is the number 1 team in 2A, but Manual's going to play all 3A, 4A schools this year until they get to the 2A tournament. Should be an interesting run. See what Manual can do once it comes around.
Yeah, and I do believe they won the Big 12 last year in our conference for basketball.
Yeah, they've been really good. So yeah, Manual's had an outstanding. Here's a 3-pointer that's no good right there for Evan Reed. Here come the Ironmen the other way. Braylon Roman down the lane. He is fouled by a couple of Raiders right there. Roman will head to the line as Braylon's already knocked down a couple free throws. He's got 14 in the game, looking for 15 and 16 right here as Normal Community continues to be on this run here. Bloomington had played pretty well. It was 13-10, but as really has haunted them all year, their inability to be able to score, as free throw no good by Braylon Roman. 45 points is the highest number that the Raiders have been able to put up so far this season. That was against Central Catholic in Game 2, and also then against Peoria Richwoods. They got 45 twice as Roman missed them both. But there's our guy Kobe Walker on the board. Couldn't quite finish that one inside, so the Ironmen come up empty, have to settle for a 35-10 lead here. 2:40 to go first half.
You know,
Yeah.
Bloomington might be feeling the pressure a little bit too. You know, it's the home opener. There's a good crowd. They might be feeling the effects of the Iron Dome. Is that what we're calling it?
Well, it certainly has been a terrific defense here so far. Another block for Normal Community at the rim, as the size of the Ironmen has really worn on the Raiders here, especially on this 22-0 run.
Yeah, the size is just absolutely incredible. Right now we got Kobe Walker in there, backup center, and he's still 6'9". So the Ironmen are just a really huge team, physical team, and we've seen 4 or 5 blocks already in this first half.
Yeah, as we move into the second half here, we'll talk a little bit about the schedule coming up for Normal Community once we get to half number 2, because, boy, the competition is going to pick up for the Ironmen. Here's a shot inside that's rolled home that time. That was Jeremiah Palant that was able to knock that one in. So Bloomington gets their first basket of the quarter here, and it's 35-12.
And most of their points have actually come from people off the bench, as I think we have
Yeah,
9 of their 12 off the bench.
Yeah, Fisher's got 5, Pallant's got 4. Brandon Cross is the only starter that has scored for Bloomington so far. He knocked down a 3-pointer for the Raiders. 1:54 now to go before halftime. 35-12 in favor of Normal Community. Raiders now with the basketball going against that man-to-man defense, which has been tough to solve. Connor Smith is in the game right now for the Ironmen, and so is Mac Brennan down the lane. He'll get a foul here. Good drive that time by Trey Thompson. He will head to the line.
I'm surprised this is the first time we've seen Connor Smith. He's also tied for 6th most minutes on the team this year, averaging 12 minutes a game. And maybe it's just because the Ironmen are playing Bloomington, but he played a decent amount in Manual against Manual, and he's been a pretty consistent part of this team and one of the best three-point shooters on this squad.
Yeah, and well, we've seen the fact that Bloomington doesn't really have a lot of height. We've seen a lot of Kobe Walker this game, so I'm guessing it's probably they just want to use the height to the advantage, and they don't really need the three-point shooting as much when they can just, you know, physically overpower you like they might do right here. Oh, wait, no, 3.
When Osborne's got a 3.
Good.
That's good inside-out basketball right there. Nice job by Kobe. Felt the double team coming. Knew somebody had to be open. It was Owen Osborne able to knock down that 3. And that's something that the Ironmen are really going to have to improve on, is going to be that three-point shooting. That's going to be a key for them as the season goes on. Here's a 3 for the Raiders from the corner. Is no good that time by Evan Reed. Pallant's 3 that's off the side of the backboard right there. Picked out by the Ironmen, up 26 now. 1 minute to go here in the first half. Running now over to Osborne. They look inside for Kobe Walker, but they'll swing the basketball around. Find Marcus Russell. He'll kick it back out. And Osborne's got another 3 on the way. That's one short that time. Rebound by the Raiders. And Bloomington might slow it down. Maybe they're going to take the last shot of the half.
You know, talking about the three-pointer for the Ironmen, it seems like they're much more willing to shoot the 3, and they seems more comfortable in their shot. They haven't been falling as much this game, but it's certainly encouraging to see more shots, and I think eventually they'll start falling more and more, and the percentages will go up and up.
And even on JV last year, Owen Osborne was very confident from 3. He never saw a 3 he didn't like, and I mean that in a good way. He can really knock him down, and the confidence he has is exactly what the Ironmen need from 3. He's shot 12 threes on this season. He's knocked down 3 of them, which obviously isn't a great mark, but I'm sure that's going to pick up. He's a great shooter, and for his size, he's got really good form.
Yeah, at 6'4", does have really good size, and we're going to get a foul on Burdette that time. As Trey came in from behind, the 5'11" sophomore will pick up the foul. 19.5 seconds to go here in the first half. Now our next game here on the Inkspot is going to be all the way in January. January 5th, the Maroons of Champaign Central are going to come to town. We'll have that one for you. Got a really nice schedule once we get into January, February here for Normal Community boys basketball on the Inkspot. Fisher out front now with 8. Now gives it off to Palant, and off his hand out of bounds. It will belong to Normal Community. So Burdette was able to knock that one away. 4.9 seconds on the clock. Normal Community tried to build on a 26-point lead here in the second quarter.
A lot of times with just a few seconds left, Trey is usually the one that shoots it, and he's coming back here. I think he wants the ball. Mac Brennan's going to take it.
He got it. Mac Brennan knocks down a 3 right at the horn, and the Ironmen lead Bloomington 41-12 at the halftime break.
That was inspirational from Mac Brennan. He looked like Curry out there, number 30.
And that was deep that time and able to knock it home. The three-pointer goes down by Mac Brennan, the 6'3" senior. So we've reached halftime here from Normal Community High School. Our score is the Ironmen 41 and the Raiders 12. So far in this first half, Ben, going to give us your thoughts on half number one, really a half dominated by the Ironmen.
Yeah, I think dominance is a great way to put it. This team has just looked really sharp, much more sharp than Inner City, where they had these runs where you could see what they're really capable of, but they also had times where they looked not very on the same page and a little lackadaisical. I think this is a great showing for the Ironmen so far. They look really composed, and they're able to get their buckets. They're able to get their steals. They're able to swarm the offensive players for Bloomington. They're able to put the ball wherever they want on offense, and they're able to get whatever points they want so far.
Yeah, your thoughts, Zach, on half number one?
Well, this is exactly what we expected, right? We expected a big win from Community. They came out rocking and rolling. 41 points is a really high total. They're averaging about 63 for the season, so they're definitely on pace for more than they average. They also only gave up 12 points, which is really impressive, although Bloomington averages about 39, so that's definitely a lot lower than Bloomington averages for the season. Just saw great defense from the Ironmen. They were able to get a lot of steals, a lot of blocks, and that turned into offense on transition, which is how the Ironmen have been this season.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that this was a 13-10 contest at one point. Now 41-12, a 28-2 run by Normal Community. Late in the first quarter, all the way through the second quarter, it was absolute domination by the Ironmen.
Yeah, a 28-2 run is pretty unheard of in college and high school basketball. In the NBA, sometimes you'll see a 28-2 run just because of the amount of scoring. But when there's not a lot of scoring in high school basketball, 28-2 is absurd and almost never heard of.
Yeah, I think that came from their ability to just shut down the Bloomington Raiders on both sides of the ball. They were getting all their steals, all their blocks. It was really an impressive showing defensively for the Ironmen. I think their defense has honestly been more impressive than their offense this game, and good defense converts into great offense.
Like Michael Jordan said, defense wins championships.
It was 24-10 Normal Community at the end of the first quarter. They open it up to 41-12 here at halftime. Well, we're going to take a break here for halftime on the Inkspot. We'll come back with 2 minutes on that clock, so we're going to take a 5-minute break. We'll run down the scoring in the first half individually, and we'll give you a preview of what's going to happen in half number two. Halftime from Normal Community High School, our score, the Ironmen 41, the Raiders 12. You're watching Normal Community Basketball on the Inkspot. Welcome back to Normal Community High School. It's halftime. The Ironmen lead Bloomington 41-12. Hey, our next Inkspot broadcast is going to be tomorrow. 2:25 will be the live stream time as the girls team takes on Edwardsville. Bruce Gibbons, BJ Dumas, and Lucas Drengwitz will have that action for you. So make sure again to join the Inkspot tomorrow. 2:25 will be on the live stream as the girls basketball team, the Lady Iron, take on Edwardsville. And hey, if you want to know all about Normal Community sports, everything happening at the high school, the Inkspot is your one-stop shop for all Normal Community. So make sure you stop by the Inkspot website. You'll be able to catch games on there. Also articles, what's happening on the athletic side, but also even more importantly on the academic side at Normal Community High School. We got about a minute to go before we're going to get ready to start half number 2. Let's get a quick rundown of the individual scoring of the first half. Braylon Roman had 14 for the Ironmen to lead the way. 9 points for Noah Cleveland, 6 for Kobe Walker, 4 points for Dexter Niekamp, 3 for Owen Osborne, 3 for Mac Brennan, 1 point for Marcus Russell, 1 point for Jaheen Weber in half number 1. For Bloomington, Brandon Cross had 3, Jeremiah Palat had 4 in that first half, and Fisher came off the bench and had 5 in half number 1 for the Raiders. 24-10 Ironmen after 1, halftime 41-12. Let's start with Ben. Ben, what are your thoughts? What's coming up in half number 2?
Well, I think we'll probably get to see some opportunities for new people this half. You know, it's not really a close game at the moment, and I think this is where, you know, high school sports gets really exciting. You get to see a lot of new opportunities for new players. You get to see fun basketball being played, and I'm just hoping for a great second half to have a lot of excitement, you know, a lot of fun.
Yeah, and on Bloomington's side, I think they're going to really try to take care of the basketball. We saw a lot of turnovers for Bloomington in that first half, and I think when they're able to hold on to that basketball, they can get nice, clean three-point opportunities, which is exactly what they're looking for.
Ball was knocked out of bounds that time as the Ironmen tried to get it inside, but knocked away by the Raiders right there. So Bloomington's got the ball now. A 28-2 run by Normal Community ended that first half. The Raiders only were down 13-10. A little under halfway to go through that first quarter, but it was certainly all Normal Community after that. Slowly but surely, the Ironmen built that lead where we sit 41-12 right now here in the third quarter.
Yeah, Bloomington's had about 1 bucket in the last 11-12 minutes. Community's just completely shut them down.
Yeah, this has been the problem for the Raiders all year. They turn it over again. Braylon Roman's going to flush it down.
He got up there on that.
Vicious slam.
He's got 16 now in the game. That was impressive right there as Braylon Roman, another number of Division I offers, and we'll see what Braylon ends up doing here as season winds down in February and March. Noah Cleveland now out in front. Gives it to Nico Newsom, who finishes with the right hand. Nico's got his first bucket of the contest.
Yeah, you spoke on Braylon Roman offers. He has offers from ISU, Radford, Bradley, Murray State, University of Illinois Chicago, and Robert Morris. So that's 6 offers right there. I think 4 or 5 of them are D1. Murray State really stands out to me.
Yeah, Murray State has had a really good program now. They find themselves in the Valley as Roman's 3 is no good. Tipped around and Bloomington's got it. So a lot of really Missouri Valley offers for Braylon, which makes a lot of sense. Really strong guard out there. Knows how to get downhill, get to the basket.
Yeah, and places like Murray State certainly can produce NBA talent. You know, John Morant, he went to Murray State.
He sure did.
Yeah.
And John Morant, the number 2 pick in the NBA draft with the Memphis Grizzlies. And Murray State has had good teams for a long time. The Racers, as I mentioned, finding themselves in the Missouri Valley right now with ISU. The Belmont Bruins, the other additional team in the Valley, have really made things tough in the Missouri Valley. As the Raiders now on the end, here's a 3-pointer that goes down that time. That was Trey Thompson knocking it home. And a timeout there, a 30-second timeout for Bloomington.
Yeah, that was a few steps behind the line. Looks like the Raiders are coming out here feeling themselves in the second half.
Showing off their range. And going back to talking about Murray State and John Morant. So John Morant was insane for Murray State, and he set so many records. I remember watching a game. He had like 17 points and 17 assists in the tournament, and I was just shocked. And you never know. Maybe Braylon Roman's next.
He might be next. 45-15 our score here. Just give you an idea what we got coming up on the Inkspot. Once we hit January and February, 5 games here on the Inkspot. Champaign Central on January 5th. Peoria Richwoods, which should be a really good game, on the 12th of January. Peoria High on the 26th. Danville on February 2nd, and Moline on February 10th. So if you want to see the Ironmen, the Inkspot is the place to be.
Yeah, and you talked about Richwoods. They're headlined by a really good big man, Lathan Somerville. And, you know, on some ranking sites like Slochet, Richwoods is actually ranked ahead of Community so far, so that will surely be a good game to watch.
Yeah, Lathan is something else. He's 3rd among all Illinois players right now. He's a 3-star, and he's already committed to Rutgers.
There's a travel by Evan Reed, got all the way down inside and ran into that brick wall named Jaheim Weber down there on the block. Nowhere for Reed to be able to go. They turned the basketball over. And the Big 12, up and down, is a very, very good basketball conference. Normal Community is going to get a lot of terrific competition. Not a lot of 4A schools in the Big 12. Normal Community being the only one. A lot of 3A competition that's there. But certainly going to be some really good competition for the Ironmen. Nico Newsom's got a 3-ball there from the left side.
Newsom's only shooting 20% from 3 this season. That was a nice one to go down. He really hasn't attempted too many. Nice form, lots of arc on that.
50-15 now our score. Just over 5 minutes to go. Here's a shot that is no good that time by Zach Collier. Here comes Noah Cleveland. Boy, he was looking for another dunk. He's already got 3 of them. Had the eye on the rim, lost the basketball, and probably what we're going to see a lot of from Normal Community, a lot of subs coming in. Looks like we are going to be heading for a running clock once we hit the 4th quarter, so 30 points, 4th quarter will give us a running clock at 35 right now, and the Ironmen throw it straight out of bounds as Burdett shot it right over the head of Owen Osborne there on the left wing.
Looks like it's a lineup of all juniors and 1 sophomore. It looks like the young core is coming out to play again in the second half like they did and showed dominance in the first half.
And Nico Newsom didn't score in the first half. Nico's got 7 here now in the 3rd quarter. Really shows the balance that the Ironmen have. It could be a different guy every single night for Normal Community. They have that type of talent up and down the roster.
Yeah, and that's how it has been for Community. It really has been a different guy every night. Romans had a season high of 18 one night against Normal West. You got Cleveland had 19 against Manual, and Weber had 21 against Bloomington in that season opener. And we really haven't seen much from Weber tonight, but we're up 50-15. Yeah, just the depth of this program.
Yeah, Jaheim's got that 1 point. It was the first point of the game, actually, and Jaheim has yet to make a field goal, but he certainly will make his presence felt. As Normal Community's got a big game tomorrow. We'll kind of get a rundown on that here as the game goes along. Shot no good from the corner by Zach Collier, and back come the Ironmen. Connor Smith's got a 3 from the right side. That's no good. Rebound picked out of there by Collier, and here come the Raiders back the other way. He lost the basketball. He's got it back now. Out to Holtz. Looked at the 3. Holtz can shoot the basketball, and the Ironmen done a nice job getting out on him, taking away that 3-point line. Bloomington just about turned it over right there. We get to the 4-minute mark here now of the 3rd quarter, and the Raiders will turn it over out of bounds as Palant couldn't quite handle the basketball there. Turned over to the Ironmen.
That's really been the story of this game, just a lot of turnovers from Bloomington. And right now, Bloomington isn't even on pace for 30, which would be their season low. And Community's nearing their season high of 72. Definitely doable.
Yeah, if you go by just the pure numbers, Zach, tomorrow's opponent for the Ironmen down at UIS will be the toughest team they've played so far this season. Talk a little bit about the Thornton Wildcats coming up against the Ironmen tomorrow.
Yeah, so the Thornton Wildcats are 6-1. As that AP poll just came out, I mentioned this earlier, number 3 in 3A. And how that AP poll works is there's a bunch of voting going in from a lot of coaches, and Thornton received 107 points. And I say that because the first place team received 110. So that's how close it was. They were just that close to being the number 1 team in 3A, and their average score is 65-53, and they've played a lot of great opponents. So their one loss was to number 7 in 4A, Bloom, which it was a home game. They lost 65-54. Bloom's a really great program. They only have 1 loss in the season against Brother Rice, another amazing program. And they also beat number 4 3A Richwoods 67-65. We're going to have a game against Richwoods at home this season. They're obviously in our conference, and we talked about them earlier. They're a big threat. They also beat ranked 4A team Kenwood 52-45. Kenwood has the 6th, 7th, and 8th best player in Illinois, and they still took him down. They also took down another 4A team. This is just a very talented team, and they're all behind 6'10" center, senior Morez Johnson, the #1 player in Illinois. He's a 4-star with offers from Illinois, Texas, Ohio State, Florida, and more. He signed to Illinois. Last year, averaged 18 and 11 with St. Rita. So just an insane program, and they're all really behind that senior center Morez Johnson, 6'10".
Yeah, talking to Witzik about it over last week, he said it's like a really good measuring stick for where the team's at. Obviously, they're a really good team, like Zach just said, and it'll be a really good test for the Ironmen. So, because they haven't really played too much competition this early in the year, and this will be one of the better teams that they'll face throughout the whole year.
Yeah, and if we look at a lot of the talented teams that they're playing, especially looking off of the AP poll, they play Thornton. They're also going to be playing Richwoods January 12th, which is ranked #4 in 3A. They're going to be playing PND, Peoria Notre Dame, which is ranked #7, obviously 2A. Still a really talented team, January 19th, and that is going to be an away game. So keep an eye on that game. A big one is Metamora, who are the #12 in 3A. That's going to be February 3rd. They have the 2nd best player in Illinois, is also a 4-star, 6'8" forward, Cooper Koch. And he's committed to Iowa. And then the last big game, Moline, who won last year. They're #11 in 4A. That's Saturday, February 10th at 3 p.m. at home. We will be broadcasting that game. Should be a great one.
We certainly will. The Maroons, the defending 4A state champs, will be coming to Normal Community. As Connor Smith on the baseline, able to get a wraparound shot right
Nice
there.
play.
That was well done that time. Lead 36 right now for the Ironmen. 1:55 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Again, probably looking at a running clock in the 4th here if things kind of stay as they are. Here's a shot by Fisher on the baseline. He's got 7 points now in the contest, and the Raiders cut that lead to 34.
Yeah, Fisher's been one of the positives for Bloomington tonight. He's been really aggressive on the defensive side and hasn't seen a shot that he hasn't liked. So he has a lot of confidence.
Yeah, Smith drove past Fisher right there on the baseline, and Connor Smith's got another bucket. And looks
I think they teed him up there, had a little flexing after the shot. Great move, but maybe a little excessive on that, and they teed him up.
It looks like Mac Brennan's going to come in for Connor Smith right here. And heading to the line now will be Holtz. So that game tomorrow will be at a shootout at Illinois Springfield versus the Thornton Wildcats as Holtz knocks down that free throw. The #1 team right now in Class 3A is Chicago Mount Carmel. Usually known for their football, but they have an outstanding basketball team this year. Chicago Brother Rice is #2. You had mentioned them, one of your rundowns there. The Crusaders are #2, also kind of known for their basketball. So a couple basketball schools at the top of the 3A poll. Thornton finds themselves right behind that, but there's not a tremendous amount of separation between the 3A and 4A. There's some really, really good teams in Class 3A. One of those is a team you mentioned is Metamora, the defending 3A state champions, and with Cooper Koch, that is an outstanding club.
Yeah, and like you say, so the top 3 players, according to 247 Sports, which is the big ranking website in Illinois, they all come from 3A schools. So really the 3A and 4A separation doesn't seem to be that much, and I think we'll see that tomorrow in a great game. And if you're interested in going out, it's going to be at the Southern Illinois Classic Shootout in Springfield, Illinois at 6:30 or 6, right around there.
Kobe Walker gets a dunk right there. Nice pass that time from Marcus Russell. Kobe's in double digits right now with 10. We go under a minute to go in the quarter.
Yeah, Kobe's season high is 11 against Central Catholic. It looks like he's going for that tonight, and I know he'd like to see that dunk there. We saw him earlier. He had, maybe you could call it a dunk. It was a little iffy there, and that one was definitely a dunk. He powered that one home.
Absolutely, and we got to give the assist to Marcus Russell. A nice pass right across the lane right there. Owen Osborne lines up a 3. Down it goes. Owen's got his second 3 now of the contest. He's got 6, and it's 61-22.
Student section's hyping up the community players for sure this quarter.
Yep, and Marcus and Owen are showing off their little JV spark as they played JV together last season, started on that team. I think they definitely built a lot of chemistry, and looking next year, we'll see a lot more minutes from both of those guys. I think just the foundation that they've built together is going to be key for their success this season and next season when they're possibly could both be starting. Definitely get a lot more minutes.
Marcus Russell now with 5. Up the floor he goes to Mac
Pass.
Brennan. He threw it behind.
Shoot that.
Darnell at the buzzer. It doesn't go down. Mac Brennan almost caught it and put it in. Would have been the second time. He's put one in at the horn, but the Ironmen have to settle for a 61-22 lead after 3. It's all Normal Community. The Ironmen lead Bloomington 61-22. You are watching Ironmen basketball on the Inkspot. Well, all Normal Community in that period right there, outscoring Bloomington in the period 20-9. They're in that third quarter, 20-10, doubling up on Bloomington, 61-22 now after 3. And Ben, let's start with you. Your kind of thoughts of the third quarter and what that looked like.
Yeah, well, I think it was basically just a continuance of what we've already seen. We've seen the dominance of Community. I think both teams are getting a little more, how you say this? They're getting a little more like confident in their shots. They're dribbling around more. You know, they're playing more pure basketball. And, you know, it's been fun to see in the home opener. It's obviously going well for Community so far.
Well, I'm going to be the devil's advocate here. It was a great offensive quarter for Community. They did give up 10 to Bloomington, and they only gave up 12 in that first half. It seemed they were a little more lackadaisical on defense, and they just didn't seem to have as much energy. I think now we got all bench players in, and I think they're really just going to want to have that energy and really just use these minutes. We got Gabe Nege in, Terrion Darnell, Owen Osborne, Mac Brennan, and Jaden Orick as well. So we got 2 guys we haven't seen tonight yet in Gabe and Jaden.
Here's a 3 now for the Raiders. Doesn't go down for Thompson out front. Rebound pulled down inside. And here's Orick now on the other end. Gives it over to Mac Brennan in the corner now to Darnell, and he will set up the offense. Jaden Orick, a 5'7" junior on the floor for the first time for Normal Community. Bloomington stays in that zone here. Mac Brennan just about lined one up. And now they'll kick it over to Owen Osborne. 3 on the way. Bloomington got a piece of that one. That one well short, and the Raiders come out with it.
You know, I have a debate I need to bring up. So tomorrow we talked about the live stream on the girls game, and on that call will be Lucas Drenwitz, BJ Dumas, and maybe Bella Green. And me and Zach were talking about it at halftime. Me and Zach think that we could beat BJ and Lucas in a 2v2 basketball game. You know, we're playing basketball right now, and we think we'd give them buckets.
I definitely agree with that statement. You know, BJ's got a nice shot, but it's pretty on and off. I don't know if he can make it over me.
You see, no, you're the tall one, so I think you get on Lucas.
Okay.
I'd put the clamps on BJ.
Okay.
Myself, yeah.
So if we're going 2-on-2, we definitely need a location. Maybe Redbird Arena might have enough seats to be able to fill the crowd for that one, possibly.
I don't know. I think we might need more seats.
More seats. All right,
we might need more.
See if the United Center is available that particular day. That would be something else.
You know, I know emotions will be flying. You know, the game could get chippy. You know,
it definitely will.
It definitely will. You know, I'm not taking anything from BJ, man. Not taking it.
Both sides, we're gonna hear some chirping for sure.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe some chirping on the broadcast tomorrow. That's 2:25 for the girls' live stream as the Lady Iron take on Edwardsville, and make sure you tune in for that. Lady Iron have an outstanding team. Yeah, Jaden Orick knocking it home from the left side. He's got the bucket.
That was certainly pretty.
Yep, and that's his first bucket of the season. Jaden Orick from 3 there. Last season on JV, that's what Jaden loved to do, that corner 3. He always got there, and that was a shot. When you see it go off his hands, you know it's good.
Here comes
He's got the
James
pass
back
right
the other
here.
way, all the way down. He'll flip it up with the right hand, no good. Rebound inside, and Caleb Tyus able to put one home. He's got his first bucket of the night.
Caleb Tyus has done a great job off the bench this season. He's averaging about 1 point a game, and with the minutes he's seeing, that's not bad at all.
Oh my God!
Brennan between the legs. Kobe Walker picks it up. He scoops it. Can't finish it inside.
They are putting it on in the fourth quarter, and I'm here for it.
It was actually Gabe Nege there on the inside there.
No, you're exactly right. That is Gabe coming off the bench.
Yes, it is.
Now Gabe seeing his first action of the night. A little bit of wild action now as we get a foul. I think that was Jaden Orick that picked that one up. We'll see if Gabe Nege can find his first bucket here this evening. 66-25. The clock is running. Normal Community will play Rock Island on Tuesday. The Rocks are the number 2 seed in the Holiday Classic. Normal Community the 1 seed, as Evan Reed down the lane able to finish at the rim. Evans got 5 here in the fourth quarter. Rock Island plays Oswego in the first round of the Holiday Classic. Normal Community drew North Chicago as the Ironmen got the #1 seed in the State Farm Holiday Classic as Evan Reed knocks down the free throw. The Raiders are heading to Bloomington. They're heading to Pontiac. They're going to play in the Pontiac tournament. They have played in that tournament for a long time. And they drew New Trier, I do believe, in their first round game in Pontiac. And they do play New Trier. They got the 9 o'clock game. That's all the way going to be in late December. It's Mac Brennan now drops it down. Nege puts it home.
Yes, sir.
Then Nege's got his first bucket right there.
That boy Gabe.
And Zach, you gotta be thrilled for him right there getting his first bucket.
I got a little excited there. Nice shot there from Gabe, little fadeaway. I liked it.
You know, I'm in his personal development class. There's pretty much no one that works as hard as Gabe. He's be sprinting around the track in the fitness days and everything, so he's putting a lot of work in.
He's been putting in the work through the off season, through summer. Just really been putting in that work. He didn't try out freshman year, tried out last year, made JV, and this year tried out. He's on varsity in his first bucket there.
Really good to see.
Yeah, caught the ball that time on the baseline, able to finish inside. Well, if you're interested in seeing the Ironmen at the State Farm Holiday Classic, that will start December 27th. So a couple days after Christmas. That'll be a Wednesday. Again, Normal Community has North Chicago. If they win that, then they'll play on that Thursday, the 28th at 4 o'clock. The first round's at the Shirk Center. After that, then the second round games move to the West, Normal West Gymnasium. Then if they do win that in the semifinals, they'll be back in the West Gymnasium again. The championship game would be December 30th at the Shirk Center. Hopefully the Ironmen will arrive right there. Normal Community's had tremendous success in the Holiday Classic and looking to keep it going with this group.
Yeah, and looking at that tremendous success that they've had, so they hoist a 86-46 record over the tournament history, and they've won the tournament 7 times, in 1975, 1985, then 2008, 2011, 2014, 17, and most recently 2021. Last year they won the consolation bracket. Obviously this year is the #1 seed. They're looking for more. And a little fun fact, the girls are also the 1 seed this year in the State Farm Holiday Classic.
Yeah, it's all Ironmen on the top of the brackets at the Holiday Classic, as Normal Community has played in that tournament for a long time. Played at Pekin for a little while. Here's Mac Brennan for 3. Oh, I was looking for the second triple from Mac on the night. Knocked down about a 25-footer to end the first quarter. Bloomington back the other way. Thompson down inside, can't find it. Rebound, Caleb Tyus. A 40-point game right now, 2.5 to go. We do have a running clock here now in the fourth quarter. 68-28, Normal Community has the lead.
And with the score 68-28, I'm looking at 2 things right now. So Community's season high is 72, and now they're at 70. And Bloomington season low is 31, and also the lowest the Ironmen have held a team is Central Catholic at 32. So we got a lot of things we're looking for here.
Yeah, Mac Brennan's got his 5th point of the game, 2nd bucket for Brennan. 2 minutes to go now, 70-28 our score. Raiders trying to get up over 30, and Fisher can't knock down the 3. Mac Brennan's got the rebound here now for the Ironmen, and we go under 2 minutes.
Yeah, and like you said, Zach, their lowest scoring game thus far is 31 for Bloomington's. And one!
Inside. Are they going to count it? And no signal from the official. It's good.
It's good.
He's got his 2nd bucket for Gabe right there.
Gabe is tough.
And I could see Gabe closing him out there. And Max saw it from the beginning, just nails it right into Gabe, and just used his size to bully him down there. 72-28. If they counted it.
Yeah, they did count the bucket right there, I do believe, anyway.
They did not count the bucket. Oh, wait. Oh, there's confusion.
Yeah, there is some confusion here. There's confusion up here. There's confusion down there.
Confusion everywhere.
I do believe the basket was good.
Okay, it was good.
So confirmed that time by Coach Drengwitz on the PA.
All right, so now the Ironmen have 72, and that is tied for their season high here. Gabe has the fast hands on defense. That's going to be Ironman basketball.
Yeah, turnover that time against Bloomington. Clock is still moving now. 50 seconds to go in the contest here. Normal Community, it was a 13-10 game in the first quarter, a 8-2 lead, and Ben Nege inside again. They've got to block that time by Fisher from behind. 35 seconds now. Fisher all the way down the lane, runs a player over. It will be a charge.
I thought he was about to dunk that.
Time.
So did I.
I thought he was about to put that up.
He almost dunked it.
Look at the reaction from the Normal Community bench that time as Jaden Orrick takes the charge. It's really what
That's what you
coaches, coaches love to see that down there. Nice job by Jaden.
A 44-point game, and Jaden still taking that charge. Just shows the Ironman program and just what they really try to do, and just a lot of respect between both these teams, even though the Ironmen have really dominated, and they've won the last 9 matchups by double digits against Bloomington.
Our final score tonight, Normal Community 70, Bloomington 28. The Ironmen won the first game between these two teams 68-43. Even more distance tonight. Obviously, Bloomington playing with a short roster, few guys coming off the bench, a struggle for the Raiders, but an impressive performance by Normal Community. Ben, let's start with you. Your thoughts on the Ironmen's big 42-point victory?
Yeah, well, I think that this is obviously a great performance from the Ironmen. They looked really crisp, much more crisp than the inner city on offensively and defensively. They looked like a much more rounded team. They looked like at times they looked like they knew exactly where they wanted the ball to go. They had really good camaraderie as a team, and I think that this was just a great display, good home opener for the Ironmen, and obviously 72-28 victory. It's got to feel good for the home opener, and especially with a tough game tomorrow against Thornton, this has got to feel like a good refresher and a good way to end off the night.
And Zach, your thoughts on the evening?
Well, you mentioned the home opener, and the first ever home game in this big gym, in Normal Community's gym, was December 5th, 2003. So 20 years ago, it was a 58-47 win over Danville, and I think they're doing that day right here today, winning 72-28 over Bloomington. And well, my thoughts on the game, I didn't expect this big of a win from Community. 44 points is really impressive, but definitely expected Community to dominate this ball game a lot how they did on offense. Really nice movement there. Their ball movement was on point, and they could really light it up they had some nice three-point shots. Again, really relied on the paint, and I'm most impressed by their man-to-man defense. They held Bloomington to only 28 points, lots of blocks, lots of steals, and they just forced so many turnovers. I was actually shocked. This is the least amount of points they've allowed this season, and the least amount of points Bloomington scored despite being 0-10. So I'm just really impressed by Community, but they got to look forward to tomorrow. It's a big game against Thornton, as we talked about earlier, and that's going to be a really big turnaround because you're going from playing a 0-10 team, a team that hasn't won this year, to a 6-1 program that's really well coached and is behind a 4-star athlete, and they're number 3 in 3A. So Thornton's a really good program tomorrow.
Yeah, the head coach at Thornton is Ty Streets, one of the best athletes to ever play at Thornton High School. Coach Streets has an outstanding team this year. Let's give you the individual numbers here and run down the scoring in the contest. 16 for Braylon Roman, 10 for Kobe Walker, 9 points for Noah Cleveland, 7 points for Nico Newsom. Then a bunch of guys scored after that. Mac Brennan had 5, 6 for Owen Osborne, 4 for Gabe Nege, 4 points for Dexter Niekamp, 3 for Jaden Orrick, 1 point for Marcus Russell, 4 points for Connor Smith, 1 point for Jaheim Weber. I hope I didn't miss anybody on the Ironman end. 72 for the Ironman. A wrap-up, 72 points for Normal Community. For Bloomington, 6 points for Evan Reed, 7 for Fisher, 5 points for Brock Holtz, 4 for Jeremiah Pilant, 3 for Brandon Cross, 3 for Trey Thompson. The Raiders finished with 28. It was 24-10 Normal Community at the end of 1, 41-12 at halftime, 61-22 at the end of 3, and they win it 72-28. And interesting, one of the things that might happen before we have our next game, but Coach Witzik picks up win number 495 in his career. Gentlemen, thoughts on that, heading towards 500 here pretty quickly?
Well, Coach Witzik has been here for a long time, and 500 is obviously an incredible milestone. I think it's going to be a big thing once he reaches it, and just go through Coach Witzig. So he's coached for 29 years, and coming into the season had a 488 and 232 record. Now it's 495, which is a 68 win percentage, which is incredible. And he's in his 25th year, and that's just kind of, it sounds good. 500 wins in 25th year. It's got a nice ring to it.
It certainly does. He has been an outstanding basketball coach here at Normal Community. And of the three people on the broadcast here tonight, one of us was here for win number 1. Yes, all the way back way long ago. I was on the bench for that win, and Coach Witzig has done an outstanding job at Normal Community. Well, final thoughts real quick, Ben. Let's start with you. Final thoughts on the evening and where this thing is heading for the Ironmen.
Well, I think that the Ironmen had a great showing tonight. They obviously have some big games in the future, but I think this is just a night that perfectly encapsulates, high school basketball and what's great about it. You got the fans out for the home opener. You got a lot of people getting a chance to play. You got a dominance all around. Both sides of the ball were looking good. And if every game, I don't think every game is going to go exactly like this, but if every game the Ironmen can look like this as a team and as a unit, I think that they're in for great things, and they'll probably be playing pretty late into March.
Zach, your final thoughts.
Yeah, so coming into this game, we expected a win from Bloomington, but I was actually worrying a little bit about the next game against Thornton. But seeing how Community played, especially looking at that fourth quarter when they didn't give up and they still held Bloomington under 30, and they only gave up 6 in that final quarter. I think the hustle that Community showed tonight, like Jaden Orrick taking that charge with 30 seconds left, even though your team's up by 40, just really shows what Community is all about. And I think they're going to need that team chemistry tomorrow against Thornton. And I really think this was a great showing from Community. Obviously, Bloomington isn't the greatest opponent to really see what your team's all about. But with this great win and just the hustle from everybody, every single player put their all out on the court, and they just showed their depth. Jaheim Weber only had 1 point, and in that game against Thornton, I think it's really going to be a matchup between him and their star that is committed to Illinois. So we're going to see a lot more from Jaheim in that next game, and just hopefully a lot more great Ironman basketball, and we're 7-0, baby.
Oh, Ironman basketball, you can catch it on the Inkspot here, 2023-2024. Hey, if you'd like to make a donation, go to the Inkspot website. We'd love to have a donation from you to keep these type of live streams on the air. Do remember that both Ben and Zach are students here at Normal Community High School. The Inkspot is a student program, so if you like what's happening here, but it's not just the broadcast, it's also the coverage of everything happening at Normal Community High School, the athletics and the academics. We do nothing, as usual, without our leader of the ship. That's Brad Bovenkirk. He's the guy that really does all the work, does everything behind the scenes. Don't forget, tomorrow, 2:25 live stream. The Lady Ironmen will take on Edwardsville. Definitely tune in for that. Normal Community wins it tonight, 72-28 the final score. Next up for the Ironmen at UIS, taking on the Class 3A, number 3 ranked team in the state. That is the Thornton Wildcats. 72-28 the Ironmen win. For Brad Bovenkirk, Ben Kerber, Zach